to Newsmakers. I'm your host, Lisa Olagus. What does it take to keep students in college to graduation? In this edition of Newsmakers, we're going to look at a program designed to support students. First, the issue. More than 678,000 students dropped out of college in Missouri in 2023. That's up 3.5% from 2022. Now, that's according to an October report by Melanie Hansen for educationdata.org. It also says nationwide, first-time undergraduate first-year students have a 12-month dropout rate of 24.1%. This map of data from the National Student Clearinghouse Research Center shows the percentage of dropouts under 35 years old in Missouri is 37.1%. Today, we will discuss how this issue impacts MSSU and a program that's helping students be successful. It's called Project Stay. Joining me to explain how the program works are Project Stay Academic Advisor and Career Coordinator Emily Brower and Academic Advisor and Tutoring Coordinator Jared Carper. Thank you both for being here with us.
Thank you so much.
College can be overwhelming for a lot of people, and you are in touch with students daily. So let's talk about some of the problems students bring to you and talk about that can make it difficult to get to graduation. Emily?
Yeah, so our program is basically designed to help students graduate and succeed in school. And so we see a number of students on a daily basis, whether that's first generation college students, students that are struggling financially, students who don't even know how to navigate college, just the basic things even to know where our resources are located. So we have a lot of students that come to us talking about, where do I even go for disability services? Where do I go for advising? Who do I go and talk to about housing? Those types of things. So we have a lot of different students in our program.
Jared, what do we know are typical reasons why students might drop out of college, why might become overwhelmed?
I think the most basic one is financial need. If you can't even pay for food, if you can't pay for your housing, if you're having to kind of rationalize this, college isn't going to come first. It's not going to be your priority.
So let's talk about the overall mission then of Project Stay and how is it connected? There's another program called TRIO and Upward Bound's part of that. How are those all connected?
So TRIO is basically a McNair Scholars Program. And so we've actually been on campus for almost 23 years at this point.
Wow.
And so we work with Upward Bound and Talent Search. And basically those programs are to help students get to college. So they start out as young as middle school age. They work with middle school students, bringing them to MSSU or bringing them on campus and seeing you have opportunities. Even though you may be a first generation college student or you may have low income or whatever that may be, you can still go to college and you can still succeed.
Why do we feel like being first time makes a difference? I mean, is it that they're just like, oh, they haven't seen anybody do this before? I mean, why is that word first time make such a big difference?
I think often we find maybe if we aren't first-time freshmen, we have our parents telling us about all the programs they were in on campus. They tell us about the fraternities they may have been exploring, some clubs, things like that. If you're a first-time freshman, you don't have that insight or that generational insight into what a university offers. So trying to help them through those kind of very formational navigation of university life, that's very
the basic
important.
navigations of everyday life.
Why do we feel like these programs are so needed? Do we see those people then not attempting to go to college if they didn't have that kind of background?
So we have seen that very often. We actually have students in our program that they start out going to us and we see that they stop coming to us and then unfortunately they do drop out of college or they do transfer and then they realize, oh wait, I don't have this program to help back me up. We are here to help the students succeed from the first day they step on campus up until 6 years actually, because we know that students can't always graduate in that 4-year time frame.
You bet. And it doesn't even matter if you are a first-time college student. Some people just take longer. I mean, some programs take longer as well. So tutoring is in your title, Jared.
Yes.
How important is it to have that element, and is it ever hard to even get students to show up for tutoring?
Absolutely.
To know
I think
it's
there's
there
a
and take
huge,
advantage, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So I think there's a huge stigma behind tutoring, same with counseling in society, and students think maybe if they are seen going to tutoring, maybe it's not as popular, maybe it's not going to make them as popular with maybe friends, things like that. Or they just are overconfident, say in certain skills or abilities. Maybe they think, oh, I was good in this in high school, so obviously I'm going to be great in college. But college is a different arena. It's different skills and subjects. You have different professors who teach different styles. So tutoring is there to assist with not only learning the subject matter, but learning it in a style that really helps frame that for you. And I think a lot of students maybe don't see it that way going into it.
I mean, just navigating things like Blackboard, the systems that are in place that may not be what you had in high school.
Absolutely.
And I will say with tutoring, we have a peer tutoring, so their peers are actually tutoring them. So sometimes that kind of gets in the way of a fear of judgment, like what Jared was saying. They are fearful to go to tutoring, and so we do see that quite a bit where they don't actually show up.
Yeah, that can be a certain challenge. So who qualifies for Project Stay? Because there are certain specific qualifications required.
Yes, so you can meet one of these 3 qualifications. So being a first-generation college student, which means neither parent or whoever raised you did not graduate with a 4-year bachelor's degree, an associate's degree still counts as you being a first-generation college student.
Okay.
So whoever raised you. And then second, if they receive a Pell Grant, so money coming back from school. And then the third is if they receive disability services accommodations through Lori Messer on campus. And so that does not have to be a physical disability either. That can be depression, anxiety. That can be you need help taking time on a test. You need extra time. So it can be a variety of things. And they just have to meet one of those qualifications.
All right, yeah, that helps to know because
Yes.
sometimes you feel like it's only financial need, and having those other options are very helpful. So how can a student apply? I mean, where do they go? How do they make this application?
So we have now 2 forms of application. One is showing up to our offices. The other would be to apply online. We should have a link through our website to be able to apply on a digital application, and that'll be sent to our offices for us to go over, and then we'll invite them in for an interview.
Excellent. All right, well, we're going to talk some more, but we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll talk about the requirements of the program for the students and learning opportunities for those in Project Stay.
Hello from the studios of KGCS TV. I'm Lydia Carlson, a communications major here at Missouri Southern. We're making lots of changes to modernize the TV station and bring you better quality video and content. But we need your help. We want to find out how you watch KGCS and what you like to watch. So we'd like you to take a quick questionnaire. It's as simple as holding your phone over the QR code on your screen. That code takes you to a link where you will see a short survey. If QR codes aren't for you, find a link to the survey on our Facebook page. Thanks for watching KGCS TV.
Election Day is April 2nd. Do you know the candidates? I'm Lisa Oligas. Join me for a City Council Candidate Forum March 25th at 7 p.m. at Joplin City Hall. 6 candidates are running. Get to know them, learn their campaign goals, and hear them respond to questions prepared by the MSSU state and local government class. Join us at City Hall March 25th at 7 p.m. or tune into KGCS where the City Council Candidate Forum will be broadcast live. Be an informed voter and exercise your right to choose. Welcome back to Newsmakers, where we are learning about Project Stay, a program at MSSU designed to support students in getting to graduation. It's focused on first-time college students, and it is making a difference. In fall 2023, 86% of first-time Missouri Southern students completed the semester in good academic standing. For students in Project Stay, 100% completed the semester in good standing. The retention rate for first-time full-time bachelor's degree seeking students from their first to second year between 2022 to fall 2023 is 70%. But for Project Stay students, the retention rate is 89%. Here again with us are Emily Brower and Jared Carper, both academic advisors for Project Stay. Your program is making a difference. That's exciting, right? So let's explain more how it works. When a student qualifies for Project Stay, they get an individual development plan. What is that?
So they come in and we do an interview with them. We create a student success plan for them or a goal. They come up with a goal for the year, and we do this every year for our students. So that way they keep coming back and they retain those goals. They keep those goals. And so they do 3 assessments to get into our program: a study skills assessment, financial literacy assessment, because we want them to be good standing citizens as well. And then they do a career assessment to see what jobs should they do, what's their skill sets, what can they do. So we do that type of thing.
It's great. And then after year 1, they might reassess and maybe their goals have changed.
Right.
And maybe they, I hated these classes. Does that really ever come up?
I think a lot of times people don't understand how many times someone will change their major through their college career. For me personally, it was 5 times. I changed my
Really?
major 5 times.
Oh my gosh.
And sometimes that delays graduation, but as long as you're pursuing your passion, that shouldn't matter.
So what are the expectations then of the students? They can't just, oh, hey, you're going to give me help every time, and can't flunk out of their classes. Are there some rigorous requirements for them as well?
So they have to have a 2.2 GPA. They have to remain in good academic standing each semester.
And what does that really mean? We said that, that 100% are in good academic standing. What does that mean?
So the students, if they're going to class, if they are attending their classes, they're going to tutoring, whether if they need tutoring or not, if they're sticking to their goals that they plan throughout the year, if they are doing good in whatever field that they're doing or working on campus, there's a whole bunch of things that come into play.
Not necessarily a straight A student,
right,
but working hard and attempting.
Right.
Excellent. Okay. So then what are some of the other expectations and responsibilities? Because they think they do have to attend certain things, right?
Absolutely. So we need and require at least 2 points per semester. We run on a point system. So they must come in for their first semester meetings and their mid-semester meetings. They have workshops each semester. So Projects Day will host our workshops. We have many different topics from like career and professional development. We have different things like trying to get people in and talk about, say, their
how to save for their first home.
Yes.
Oh, there you go. So
How to save
planning.
for financial
Yes.
planning, how to buy their first car. We do fun workshops as well, but you do have to have, like I said, a good GPA in order to be in our program and then attend their meetings with us so they stay connected.
Yeah. Let's talk some more about these workshops, because some of them are like even test anxiety.
Yeah.
That's something everybody could benefit from, I would think.
Right. So we do talk about a lot of study skills, and we work individually with students on how to keep a planner. Some people don't know even how to utilize their planner properly. So time management is a huge thing. I think that's a huge skill to have in coming to college, because you have to have good time management, right, in order to keep up with your classes, schoolwork, whether you're in sports. And we have a variety of students. So we have students that are non-traditional students too, so students that are over the age of 25. We
Might have kids trying to balance life, work.
Right. So there's a variety of students in our program, and so they have a lot of things to juggle throughout their lives in order to stay in school.
And then, financial planning, that's not something you think you're going to get necessarily as an extracurricular, but how can that be helpful when, they might need scholarships? Do they get that kind of resource as well?
Absolutely. So we have a lot of different scholarships institutional too. Our director actually sits on the scholarship board, so she has a lot of information for the students about what scholarships are available here at the university or looking towards grad school. A lot of students may not think undergrad is their final step for them in education. So we will help kind of look and scope out like what kind of graduate school scholarships or funding is available. There's a lot less funding from the financial aid department for graduate school. So it becomes kind of critical if you're going to graduate school, you're going to need some extra scholarships or some boost to kind of get you there so that you're not going to have to work 40 hours or 50 hours a week just to try to be able to afford it.
We also have a scholarship program within our program specifically. So if you receive a Pell Grant, if you have at least a 2.5 GPA, if you do the point system, so you have to at least have 4 points, and if you are under 60 credit hours, then you can earn what's called grant aid for being in our program. And so we give out $13,000 worth of scholarships each semester to our students in our program, and we work with 175 students. So it's a good chance you could get grant aid scholarships.
Yeah. So I was going to ask that, how many students do you work with, and how do you feel like all these things together make a difference? And also maybe even sometimes bringing those students together. Do you feel like when they connect with others who might be in the same boat, it makes a difference?
I think we have seen that time and time again where they make connections with the students that are maybe in similar situations as them. But I think our biggest thing, and I think Jared would agree with me, is advising. That's our number one thing. Even though we don't advertise that a lot, these students are in majors where their advisors may not be able to meet with them just on regular day basis things. I helped a student book a passport appointment at the post office because they didn't know how to do it. So we work with them not just in school aspect, but everyday life aspect, and we make a good one-on-one connection with our students. And I think that's what keeps them coming back year after year and semester after semester, because we build that relationship with them.
Does it feel like they have a security network as well?
Kind of like you said earlier, it's building that sense of community from the ground up. We want to be their family for them. If they have something that's on their minds and they need to come in and be able to tell us, we have a confidentiality there where we can actually help them give advice on resources in the community per se, or just like resources on campus where we know a lot of the campus that they may not know, especially with the Hearns flooding and the move and everything. We'll know exactly where they can find different resources because we've been working alongside those resources for so long.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about, some of the advising you give, because balancing a schedule can be tricky as it is. And if you, like you said, didn't have family that went through college to say, oh, I took these classes, oh, and this year you want to take the hard ones, don't save them all for last. Does that come up a lot?
It does, and something that we offer in our program is priority enrollment. So a lot of the students, they don't realize how big of a benefit that is. It's a huge benefit. You get to enroll when the seniors do. So you get to make the schedule that you need and that you want even at freshman year. So maybe you have classes that we know fill up quickly, and they need those classes in order to reach their goals or to continue on in their program. And so we help them from the time that priority enrollment starts, even before then, creating those schedules, talking to those students about what classes they need and preparing step by step to reach that goal of graduation.
Betsy Wood came up with some data for, you're writing a grant for these programs. Right. Talk to us about some of the needs the students have. I mean, is poverty an issue and having to try and maybe even get done with school early? Does that happen a lot?
Absolutely. We work one-on-one with a lot of students who come in and say, like, I still owe a little bit on my bill. What can I do? And we'll try to scope out some additional scholarships that maybe weren't taken, or if someone, say, dropped out of university in the fall semester, some of those scholarships can be assigned or reassigned to other students in the end of the spring semester. So we'll try to see, like, how can we help these students with their financial situation? I think that's a big one.
And then even for someone with a disability, would, making a schedule of this class is in this hall and trying to get from one place to the other, does that ever come up in trying to, making it navigable? Yes.
And I think a lot of the times when I say that one-on-one relationship, or when we talk about that one-on-one relationship, we know the student, we look at their needs from the first time that they walk in actually into our office. We can say, okay, they need this today, they need this class, this is what we're going to do in order to help them succeed. And we see that a lot of the times in our program.
You also suggest community service opportunities, such as working at watered gardens, which we'll show some of that shortly. But why encourage students, sometimes who might even struggle with, getting their schedules juggled, to do community service? Why is that an important aspect of your program?
I think it's important because we want these students to be a well-rounded student. We don't want them just to succeed academically. We talk about the financial literacy. We talk about how to save and invest and time management skills. And these are skills that they can take on after college as well. So we want them to be able to go out into the community and be a well-rounded individual. And I think that's what makes our program so different. So we work at the Water Gardens, like you said, Joplin Humane Society. We do Salvation Army, where the students get to do a variety of things in community service.
Do you feel like it's a benefit for them personally to have that sense of giving?
Absolutely. I think personal growth is very important. It's a very important side of our program as well. Trying to see what you can do for the community, even if it's not financial or if it's not donating money, you can donate time as well.
Actually, thank you both for talking to us all about it. As I mentioned, we followed some students during a service opportunity at Watered Gardens and talked with two of them. Let's take a look.
Alicia Barnes fills a drink dispenser as she prepares big batches of lemonade at Water Gardens Ministries. She and Kendra Acadian are members of Project Stay, volunteering at the Joplin charity.
No, I've been getting a lot of help, so it's like, if I'm getting help, I need to give back and give somebody else that help too. So I was like, it's very good. I was like, it's good for everybody to help every once in a while. Don't get me wrong, I get a point for it, but I would still have done it just because it's helping, and they need the help because it's just a volunteer basis. So there's a lot of people that need help.
Volunteering is just one point earning opportunity provided to Project Stay participants so they become well-rounded.
I feel like they give a lot to us, so I feel like it's important to give back as well. So I like doing stuff like this, and I feel like it's important. So Project Stay provides us with a lot of resources and stuff.
Resources like tutoring, a computer lab, and printing, but also a wide variety of workshops.
They offer a lot of things, like their programs all over campus. I've been to almost every single one of them. So like the time management one, there was a real estate one. The real estate one was really good. It tells you how to invest in real estate and all kinds of other things. Ways to make more money, make your money work for you, not you work for your money. So it's very beneficial. Like, they offer all kinds of school supplies too, so if you don't have them, you just go in there and you get them. They do advising, so even if you can't get in with your advisor, they'll get in and they'll help you.
They have crafts that we do. They have little talks, like a TED Talk. They have seminars or whatever, like little small classes to help you succeed in school, like note taking, for example, or scheduling. They give you planners and all that stuff. They did that this year where they help you with scheduling and time management.
The academic advising and making schedules is also key for Felicia.
Like, they will, any questions you have, they're there to help. So if you can't get in with somebody else and ask them, they make you feel better about it. So when I went and asked them about my classes, I switched them up to better suit me instead of putting all a bunch into classes that would not have been good. So it would have been a bad year if I would have done that.
Project Stay supports first in their family college students. For Kendra, the college journey also requires balancing home life with school.
I have 4 kids. I'm older. So yeah, I have 4 kids of my own, so it's very important that I graduate and continue my education. And my kids get to see me do this and sit there and do homework every night, and they join me, and so it's a nice thing for our family for them to see me finish something.
With Project Stay students and staff alongside her, finishing will be getting to graduation.
Welcome back to Newsmakers, where our discussion is about Project Stay, helping students succeed in college. Joining our conversation now is a member of the Project Stay program, Peyton Randolph, a junior here at MSSU and president of the Student Senate. Welcome, Peyton.
It's good to meet you.
So have you been part of Project Stay your whole college career? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I joined, it would have been the first semester of my freshman year. I went in probably a month in and applied.
Okay. And so what was it like when you first arrived at college? I mean, were there things that were daunting and challenging that you thought, I really do need this help?
Absolutely, yeah. I was one of the lucky ones. So I grew up like 25 minutes from here. I went to Webb City High School. So I was lucky enough to be in a city that I was familiar with, but still coming to college, obviously everyone knows it's a big change from high school. And so there are a lot of different things to adjust to as far as like managing expectations. Each classroom has its own set of expectations. That was a big change from high school. And just learning where I needed to go to get the information I needed. There's a bunch of different offices on campus. They're in different buildings. Where are they? Who are these people? How do I address them? Is it doctor? Is it Mrs.? Is it Mr.? And then just like general, like, what's a credit hour? How many should I be taking? Stuff like that. And so going to Project Stay and being able to ask them those questions and being treated with dignity and respect was a big deal for me, I guess.
So you have a family. No one in your family has been to college before, so this was a new experience.
Oh,
overall?
absolutely, yeah. My sister was the first person in my family to graduate college, and she graduated last semester.
So you got in here at the same time, and no one in your family had graduated. So how is it helpful to have those people who are in the know?
It's like invaluable, really, you know. Debbie has been a huge help for me from day one. Debbie at Project Stay, she's one of the advisors. And just being able to go to her when I have a question, and, you know, if there's something I don't understand, I can go to her and I can say, hey, who do I need, you know, what information do I need on this? Or who do I need to talk to get this information? And she can either tell me what room I need to go to, you know, who I need to email, or sometimes she can email them for me and my name and get that information for me. And then as far as just like building your schedule and everything. Like there's really nothing that the Project Stay hasn't been able to help me with that I've needed.
Do you feel like you could have been overwhelmed or built a schedule that was maybe even too difficult had you not had their
100%.
advice?
Absolutely, yeah. It's especially coming in from high school, right, where they line out, you're going to take X amount of classes, each one's going to be X amount of work, and you get to pick from this list of maybe 5 or 6 different classes. And then you come to college and there's a seemingly endless list of classes you can take with so many different professors. And each one's going to have its own work requirements. Some are going to be more work than the others. And some of them you're going to be in more time than the others. And so there was really, for me anyway, I don't see any way I would have navigated that successfully if I hadn't been able to go to them and get the information I needed.
Talk to me about workshops and the opportunity to attend those. Have those made a big difference as to how your, study skills work as well?
Absolutely, yeah. I think one of the most helpful workshops I've been to, I went to one on financial literacy last semester, maybe the semester before. And we talked about budgeting. We touched a little bit on things like investing, how much I should have saved up for emergency spending and things like that. And then as far as note-taking and things, again, Debbie has been invaluable. You know what I mean? She's been able to look over my notes, show me what I need to change, how I could color code, things like that. And just all around really helped me to succeed in my courses.
Yeah, it makes it easier to study and then easier to do better on a test.
Absolutely, yeah.
So talk to me about the overall sense of, does it give you accomplishment when you know that there are other people as part of this organization? You're among 175 students who are part of Project Stay. So otherwise you might have felt alone. Do you feel kind of more support because there's others in the group as well?
Absolutely, and that's one of the things that's amazing about Project Stay is, this is the 3rd space because they had to move with the situation in their building. This is the 3rd space I've worked with them in since I started Project Stay. And in each space, they have gone out of their way to make sure there's a common area, regardless of how much room they have, for their students. So we can sit there, meet each other, mingle, interact, work on our homework, eat lunch, whatever it is. And you can really tell that they put that work in because when you come in there and you meet, strangers from across campus that are also in Project Stay, I've yet to have a negative experience with any of those individuals. It's always kindness. It's always help. They're always there to be kind.
They actually have theme semesters too. So how does that add to it? Does it just add an element of kind of whimsy and fun? Yeah,
it's a lot of fun. There's always decorations, of course, and then we get our T-shirts. And sometimes we'll do themed workshops based on the semester. So they did make your own Mickey ears. This semester they have a Lego set. And last semester they had a little picture area in their office. It was Friends, and so they had the couch and the Central Perk backdrop and everything. And so it's another fun way to engage and get people into the office.
And then they offer things like tutoring. Has that been a help to you?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a help to me right now. Actually, I'm in Chem 1, and so I'm definitely taking advantage of that resource. And then with Gen Bio and things in the past, absolutely.
Is that something what would you say to other students about being in Project Stay? Would you advise them to do it?
Oh, of course. I drag my friends in there. Even friends that aren't sure if they'll qualify, I bring them in there to apply just to find out. Because like I said, it's really been a deal maker for my college experience, I'm not sure I would still be on this campus if I hadn't had Project Stay's help.
Wow.
So I bring everyone that I meet, everyone that I know, I'm always telling people about it.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Peyton, for sharing your experience.
Absolutely.
And we're glad Project Stay is helping you, and good luck to graduation day.
Thank you very much.
Well, that wraps up this edition of Newsmakers. Thanks to our guests, and thank you for watching.